How many of you are leaders here? There are few. How many of you wanted to be leaders? Most of you wanted to be leaders, right? What do you think that the availability of leadership in our country today? Is it in scarce or is it in plenty? It's in scarce. A recent manpower study says that 81% of corporates, they are finding it very difficult to hire resources from open market. There's a huge deficit, and large part of this deficit is from leadership area. 86% of respondents to a Deloitte survey responded that the unavailability of leadership is a huge problem which need to be addressed on immediate and urgent basis. So it is very difficult to spot CXOs and CEOs from the employment market today. This is not only in corporations, but in societies, in communities, and even in politics. We have less amount of leaders. What is the reason for this leadership deficit? There are many reasons, right? But I wanted to talk about one specific reason that contributes to this deficit, which is seldom talked about. That is failure of leadership in the initial stage of their assignment. Failure of leadership when they transition from one environment to another environment. Or failure of leadership when a manager moves from managerial position to leadership positions. A recent survey says that 40% of the managers fail in the initial 18 months of their assignment. Is it not an alarming data? Yes, of course. It's very alarming. What is the reason for this failure? I would attribute it to insufficient or nil acclimatization process. We heard about acclimatization for athletes preparing for a marathon or climbers adjusting to higher altitudes. Even leaders need this acclimatization process in the beginning when they start an assignment. What is this acclimatization process? It is nothing but a leader's ability to adapt to an environment, their ability to build connections, understand the culture of the organization when they join that organization, build a relationship with the stakeholders, peers, and external environment, society in which they operate their business. There are two aspects of this acclimatization. One is internal acclimatization process, the other one is external. What is this internal acclimatization process? Let me tell you one incident that has happened to me while I was working with a CHRO for a large multinational organization. Between the CEO and I as CHRO, we decided to add one more layer into the leadership structure. And we decided to add that layer between the CEO and the next level leadership. We started scouting for candidates. We met many people. And finally, we found somebody who is suitable for this role. However, that person was not ready to perform that job right away. So we decided to hire that person into the one level below, that means the same level of the rest of the leadership, and observe his performance and later elevate him to the next level. Right? But in our poor onboarding communication, we have not communicated this idea to rest of the leadership. The person joined with the mindset thinking that I'm going to be first or number one among the equals, and I need to perform very fast so that I can get elevated to the next level. He started interacting with leaders, and we found problems set in very soon. Very soon problems set in, and the end result was premature death of a otherwise potential CXO or CEO. Onboarding is very, very important activity. 76% of the leaders say that the current level of onboarding is not helping them to settle down in an organization. 82% of the people say that relationship building is the most difficult thing. They cannot build relationships. And if they are not building a relationship, they cannot prepare their team, influence their team, and lead their team to the next level. So let me tell you another incident that has happened during my tenure. I happened to coach a brightest leader of a manufacturing company. And he was a great leader there. He was heading the production department of that organization. And he was an excellent leader, fast tracker, and everybody liked him, his leadership. His team also liked his leadership. And considering his performance, the management decided to elevate him to the next level and transfer him to another division, another business division, which is strategically very important for the organization. The person was elevated and transitioned to the new division. Soon, in the team working under him found this leader is not suitable for leading them. The reason was, unlike in the manufacturing division or production division, the employees in this division were Generation Z employees. You know, Generation Z work as transactions. How many of you are Generation Z here? There are many people. Yeah, Generation C work as transactions, and they find it very difficult to build very strong bonds or relationships. The people who are leading this kind of team need to understand the importance of building connections. If the leader himself is not building connections, then it is very difficult for that leader to lead such a team, Generation Z, and influence them and motivate them to perform. Acclimatization is going beyond roles and responsibilities. It is about connections, building connections with various stakeholders, the entire ecosystem. Not only internal, but external too. And let me tell you a story about Kevin Johnson to narrate more about external acclimatization process. Kevin Johnson joined Starbucks with an excellent track record. He was a great leader, but early on, he had to face a lot of backlash because of an incident. In 2018, in one of their stores, 2 black men were arrested while they were waiting for a meeting. And this incident created a lot of public outcry. And early responses to this incident by Kevin Johnson did not resonate with the sentiments of the people around, the people in the community. It has created a lot of backlash for him as a leader. He did not allow this situation, this incident, make his leadership fail. He decided to work with the community, listen to the community, understand their sentiments. In fact, he closed down the stores nationwide to train the people on racial biases and also social justice. He sat with people, understand what do they need, what they are expecting from Starbucks as an organization, as an institution. And he changed otherwise a potential threat to his leadership into a favorable situation to lead the Starbucks into greater heights. Before I conclude, let me also examine some of the best practices in acclimatization process. One, onboarding is very, very, very important. Attitude is also very important. Many leaders think that once they are a leader forever. That's not true. Every new beginning is a new start, and that needs to be seen separately. Leaders also need to shed their baggage before joining an organization. And they should have the flexibility and humility to understand the environment and the community around and the people and the stakeholders whom they are going to work with. Need to do a lot of unlearning. Whatever worked in the past may not work in future. So as you learn newer things, you also need to unlearn many things when you embrace a new position. As you go back to your roles, please think about how you have been during transition, what you learned, and how you are going to look at your next transition. Thank you. Thank you very much.